What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic Friday. Almost 8 o'clock here. Going to try to put this out as soon as I possibly can, but I hope you all had yourselves a great day, a great week, ready for the weekend. Unfortunately, we don't have Eagles football this weekend, but Monday we will be back. It's felt like 10,000 years, so doing all I can to get you by in this bye week and now heading into week 10. So we went over the Green Bay Packers behind enemy lines the other day, talked everything about you needed to know. Now we're going to combine it all with the Eagles and the Packers, all the moves the Eagles have made. We got the injury reports for today. So I'll give you the update on the injury reports. We'll take a look at both teams. Then we'll take a look at how both teams are doing and then the top matchups. Love to hear your thoughts on this. You have any thoughts, any questions, anything you'd like to add, leave it down below. Appreciate you liking, sharing, subscribing, hyping, becoming members. All that stuff really does help. So thank you for that. But let's jump right into this bad boy. And let's start off with the injury reports. And we had a couple of changes for the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's take a look here. And Adoree Jackson now listed with a the NIR is non-injury related. So personal reason, did not practice today. We'll see what's going on there. And then Moro Ojomo was a full participant. So the only person not practicing for injury was because of Cam. The knee was because Cam Jurgens got hurt a couple weeks ago. We've been trying to hope that he would come back. But, hey, at least Willie Lampkin, as you can see there, has the potential to maybe come back. I don't know that he would be starting right away, but we'll see what they can do here in this very short amount of time. But you've got Bennett, Lampkin, and Smith all hopefully coming back to this roster, but then you would have to let go of how many ever people because the roster is full right now. So we will see what the Eagles decide to do, but looking like Jurgens is the only one that could miss this game. And then, well, maybe Adoree Jackson too, depending on what the hell's going on there. And then you've got the Packers here who, here's their limited and full list. I got another list for them as well, but Matthew Golden is the only player who changed from yesterday, and he did not practice because of that shoulder injury. So very unfortunate. We'll definitely keep our eyes on that. The game status report will be out tomorrow. We'll see who is out, who is questionable. And then the other part of their list, these were the guys that did not practice, and Savion Williams was actually back in a limited role, so that's good news. But then Malik Heath and Malik Willis were both added today, both limited, but were both perfectly fine yesterday. So I will keep you up to date with all of this stuff, but we'll take a look now at both of these teams, and I'll try to kind of go through this quick because we have so many shows with this stuff. You can go back and check them out throughout the week, but you can also pause this stuff. But this is just a way for you guys to see what these teams look like, the injuries, the matchups coming up. So, Bennett, Lampkin, Smith, we're all hopeful they come off of IR. You can see the rest of the guys here. So not going to see these guys on the depth chart, but again, can come off. So here is the offense, hoping, Brett Toth, if he fills in, he gets things done. If not, maybe Lampkin at one point is the guy. I don't know, but excited that, the kid is healthy enough and could be back on the roster sooner rather than later. He's got 3 weeks to do so. Then on the defensive side of the ball, we got Jaelan Phillips back, baby. Let's go. And looking at practice just for a couple of days, it looks like we really might get to see Jaire Alexander getting a chance to start, which would be awesome. Next to Mitchell and DeJean, if we can get him back to form, let's go. And hell, why not? Give it a shot because Ringo and Jackson, they've had their ups and their downs, and it has been brutal. And you got Michael Carter II. Maybe you see some dime packages. Maybe you see him dancing around as a defensive back, just playing a little safety, a little corner, all kinds of stuff. Love the versatility of this room now, but excited to see these new pieces and excited to talk about them here in a second with these matchups. But special teams department, everybody good to go here. And look, hopefully Xavier Gibson, another new piece, and get some things going. And then you've got the practice squad. Some things were moved around this week in case you missed it. Danny Gray is back and a bunch of other moves. Patrick Johnson is now on the practice squad again. So all kinds of stuff going down. Maybe we elevate him. Maybe we'll see. But now let's jump into the Packers. And they unfortunately just added Tucker Kraft, and a few other names are there. So nobody that you see here is going to be on this depth chart. We'll see if they activate anyone from these lists for the game. And then on offense, you can see Matthew Golden, maybe Dontavian Wicks steps in, but he's been a little banged up. Malik Heath and Savion Williams all a little banged up, so maybe they elevate someone. But Musgrave, Fitzpatrick, Wiley, all going to have to step in for Tucker Kraft being out there. Going to be intriguing to see how they do without Kraft there. And then on the defensive side of the ball, you can see here, Van Ness looking like he could miss another game here. Only depth pieces that were banged up for the Packers. And you can go to behind enemy lines if you want a more detailed look at this team and talk about, their depth chart. But here is what their special teams looks like. And Golden and Williams both banged up. So maybe Nixon, but Nixon's an all-pro returner, but he's been starting at corner. So we'll see. Now you have the practice squad here. We'll see if they want to elevate any of these receivers or anybody else that they need for this game. That information will be available on Monday. So the pregame show, I'll let you know who those elevations are. There will be no show for that like there usually is because the game is on Monday. So you see what both teams look like there. Now let's take a look at the coaching staff, the stats, and the rankings and standings for both of these teams. And hey, a lot of people, just like last year, wanted to fire everybody on the staff for the Eagles. I stayed firm that I do not believe that should happen. And I think the Eagles, clearly are heading in the right direction. I think people are going to become huge Eagles fans here this week. I think, Patullo, all that dumb stuff will finally cease. That'll be nice because it took a while last year with the Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio stuff. So hopefully everybody gets on board for this Super Bowl win. But they got their chance this week going up against a tough team in the Packers. And look, we just saw these guys last year. We know this West Coast offense, LaFleur and Stanovich, and Hafley there with his defense. And, bringing that single high safety, we know, what this team can do and what they have done, and we know what we can do. Now, this team has definitely struggled, and I get it. And I guess, the media and a lot of people never watched football before, so they didn't understand that, not everyone's an all-pro in their first game ever, or the coaches don't become all-pros in their first coaching game ever. I don't know. But for me, it was always about development, kind of like with Jalen Hurts. So I'm staying patient. We're top 10 in points now. We just keep moving up. So take it all with a grain of salt. What I do like to see is the turnovers. Number one, not turning the ball over. Let's effing go. On the defensive side of the ball, we are improving there too. We talk about being the youngest defense in the league, being injured. Now we're getting healthy. These younger guys are getting acclimated. I telling you, man, sleeping on the wrong ones. Now, this is a tough matchup, so we're not sleeping on anyone. I can tell you that much. And, you see like top 10 with their offense and defense, and they're really good on both sides of the ball. And, that's good for them, man. I really think that they are definitely one of the better teams in the NFC. Unfortunately, I believe we are the best. So that's great. You're good against, the run and you're good against the pass and you get sacks, but you don't get many turnovers. So that's something, we want to continue holding on to the ball and hopefully, not turning the ball over. And that has allowed us to be, the number one team in our division at 6-2. And I told you from the beginning, it's going to be a battle of the bottom. Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. Who could be the worst? Nobody could compete with us. Look at them now, man. We're halfway through, dude. Told you. Bums. Now, the Packers, they also lead their division. Now, this is a much tighter race, as you can see. Everyone vying for that top spot here between the Packers, Lions, Bears, and Vikings. Oh, my. But where we stand atop again is the NFC as a whole. Let's hold on to that number one seed. That bye is ours. Let's go whoop some ass. And the Packers, you can see, number 4 with being the top of their division. So very exciting matchup here. Teams know how important it is, and we know that extra week of rest for that bye, that'll be crucial. So let's effing go. I'm ready to get it. But now I'm ready for those top matchups. Let me know how you're feeling about these top matchups. Who are you hoping to see? Who is your favorite? Let me know as we go along, whatever's on your mind. But let's jump right into this with number 10 here. I'm going to start it off with the Eagles defense, and then we're going to go into the Eagles offense after this. But I want to start it off with Kraft missing. You've got Musgrave, who I think people really sleep on. Just last year, he was like the starter, and Kraft was the backup. I think, yes, he's not Tucker Kraft, but he still gets the job done. And I think, either way, they were going to try to get it to Kraft, and we were going to smoke his ass. So that's fine. But we've got Blankenship, Makuba. Makuba's definitely been, up and down, but he's a rookie. I don't understand the confusion about that. Give the kid time. I think he's got a very bright future. Stop trying to say he's a bust. He sucks. We need to add safeties. No, we don't. You need to be patient, shut up, and stop listening to the media. We're about to whoop that ass, and I think these safeties will be a big part of that. And also, let's stay in this secondary. These corners, baby boy. Oh, yeah. So, they've got Christian Watson back. Golden's a little banged up. Heath and Williams, everybody's banged up. Dobbs is there. But, baby, we got Cooper, DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. Now, who wants to be that other guy? Is it Jair Alexander? Is Michael Carter II going to become nickel and move DeJean outside? Is it Dory Jackson or Kaylee Ringo going to win a spot? I hope not. But, hey, we've got some options here, and I'm very, very excited to see how these new pieces fit. If Jair Alexander gets a shot against his old team, oh, that would be awesome. So, very excited to see these corners going up against these wide receivers. I think it is going to be a very, very fun matchup. And, Kraft was their leading receiver. So, you now got Dobbs behind him, who only has 441 yards on the year, 13 yards per catch. He does have 4 touchdowns. He is their red zone guy. Was Tucker Kraft, but we'll see how Dobbs does here. Yeah, they've got some decent receivers. We've got some good corners. Looking for that matchup to be a good one. Now up next, let's shut down this damn run game. Josh Jacobs, and don't sleep on Emmanuel Wilson. And, he's been getting more work because of the fact that Jacobs has been a little banged up. But, he's averaging 4.3 yards per carry. And I think the kid, he's obviously no Josh Jacobs. And Jacobs has like 10 touchdowns on the season. He is a monster. We know he is. But we've got Nakobe Dean back, baby. And he was playing more than Jihad Campbell here last year. And that's fine, man. Campbell's a rookie. You don't want to rush it. He hasn't played, 20 games that he's about to in this season, right? So 21, whatever it is. But I just think that, we got to, be smart about it. And they are. And we've got some good linebackers here. And I think I'm very happy to have Dean back. But let's put this run game in the dirt because make them one-dimensional. It's a whole different ball game. But these stronger backs, there are times that this team has played, a little two-hand touch, and I don't like that stuff. So tackle, man. Put people in the dirt. Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Jihad Campbell, all of you. Let's effing go. And obviously these are just for matchup purposes. Other players are allowed to tackle them too, just for the show's purpose here. But make them one-dimensional. Put it into the hands of Jordan Love. And look, I used to before say, oh, he's so underrated. Now I feel like he's overrated. Yeah, he has over 2,000 yards on the year, 13 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. He's only been sacked 11 times. That's great. Fantastic. Good for him. But I don't care. This defense continues to improve, continues to get healthy, getting their edge rush back, getting, these corners, getting the safeties acclimated. Just everything's coming into place as we talked about all year. Staying patient while everyone jumps ship. We sit here and laugh in their faces because we know by the end of this year, this team's going to, again, be clicking on all cylinders, and this defense is going to get back to form. And we can do that against a really good quarterback in Jordan Love. And I think he is good. I just think it's hilarious when they start talking about he's better than Jalen Hurts. Now you've completely lost me because he's not. And now you're just sounding like an idiot. So I understand people are upset. They were so wrong about Hurts, but holy shit. At this point, you've been so wrong for so many, and I apologize for swearing, but it has just been so long. You have looked dumb for so long. Just accept it. Move on. People won't hold it against you. Literally 95% of people were against me. It's fine. You didn't know football. You don't, and you probably never will, but you'll keep talking about it. But just go ahead and let the big boys talk their football. And, this kid, we're going to find out who's better on Monday. And we can do that with a little bit of a pass rush. Something we have lacked all damn year, and it's driving me mad. But we talk about the fact that a lot of injuries, things going on. So this D-line going up against their O-line, bringing in Jalen Phillips, getting Nolan Smith back, bringing back Brandon Graham. Now you have Jalen Hunt and Uche with some firepower, baby. And then, of course, in the middle, you got Carter, Davis, and Jomo. So the offensive line of the Packers, count your blessings. I know you don't give up sacks. I don't care. We're coming for you. And, oh, baby boy, I can't wait. So Nolan Smith said he expects to play on Monday, so he should be back. We have Brandon Graham back, and Jalen Phillips is going to play. So, oh, yeah, let's get this edge rush going. Let's put some people in the dirt. I'm excited. Let me know how you guys feel about this Eagles defense going up against this Packers offense. Who is your favorite matchup? Maybe you just got one player versus one. The way I like to do it anymore, we used to do that. Just put it as a whole, talk about it as a whole, and you guys can let me know how you feel about it. But let's jump into the Eagles offense here and talk about my favorite matchups here against this Packers defense. And we'll start in the trenches, baby. So you know that they added Micah Parsons. And, obviously pretty damn good. And Rashawn Gary's pretty good. And you got Enikbare there and Wooden, Brooks, and Wyatt and Stackhouse in the middle there. But we have the best line. I don't care if Cam Jurgens is banged up. Toth, he did well last week. And I think, if he continues to improve, as a veteran, we know what his ceiling is. So just get it done until Lampkin's ready maybe the following week or Cam Jurgens is ready to come back. So we didn't put Jurgens on IR. I just kind of feel like he'll be back next week. Toth will get the start. You hear the media talk about Lampkin. Oh, my God, it's a new name we've never heard of. He's got to be the starter and a Hall of Famer, right? No. Let's give it some time here. And he's not a bust, and you don't need to cut him if he doesn't start. Remember that. I know the media's ways with these casual fans. God help us. But this line, protect and demolish. Let's get the run game going. We talked about doing that before the bye. We did just that, ran it right down their throats. Continue to do that, please, and thank you. And you can make those things easier on Hurts and Barkley by, getting this pass game going. And I know we always talk about the receivers, but one of Hurts' favorite receivers, Dallas Goedert. And don't forget Calcaterra, who gets to play, 60% of the snaps as well. Dude's in there. We'd like to play a lot of 12 personnel. So get Goddard going. He's got 7 touchdowns, but hell, get Calcaterra in there if you want to. Maybe get him his first touchdown of the season. But you got some damn good safeties here. Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney. And McKinney, what a great addition he was for them last year. We all remember him with the Giants. Hated when he was there. Hated that he's here with the Packers. So this is going to be a really fun matchup, whether it's their linebackers, their corners, safeties matching up. Dude, get Goddard the ball, and I think they will definitely try to do that. Something Jalen Hurts is definitely a fan of doing. And, if he's not open, you've got some guys named A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jahan Dotson. So, Nixon, Valentine, Bullard over there, yeah. You should be able to do some work on these guys. I really can't stress enough how much I want to see this pass game get going. We did that a few weeks ago when they said we couldn't pass. And then the next week it was, they can't run. And then we ran it all over them. So what I'm looking for in this game is a nice blend. So let's feed the ball to AJ, Devontae, a healthy amount that needs to be. You don't have to force anything. And then that allows us to just run that ball right down their throats. And they got 2 damn good linebackers there, and Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker, and I don't care. But for the first time ever, it doesn't just say Saquon Barkley. I've got Bigsby in there too. And you know why? Well, coming out of the bye, your legs, they're fresher, but you're also don't want to just rush right back into it, right? So let's ease Barkley into this. This is week 10. We've got 18 regular season weeks, and then we got like 5-6 more weeks after that. So let's keep in mind we need to keep him fresh for a long time. So get Bigsby in. Hell, get yourself a little bit of, anybody else who wants to get some. Obviously, I don't think that Dylan's going to be part of this, but Shipley, let's go. But whoever it needs to be, I'm all about it. And I only include guys that get over 25% of snaps. So that's why Bigsby's here. He had like 28% of snaps. Obviously, Barkley could have gone back in last week. We were kicking their ass, didn't need to. So run the ball right down their throat. Let's continue to build on that. Nice balanced game would do wonders for Eagles fans' souls. Now at number 1, it's QB1 going up against this Packers defense. And dude, do not sleep on this Packers defense. They are really effing good. And I think we all know that. And, when you look at this team, the way that they're built, I just think from top to bottom, they're really good. And the defense, we talked about being, top 10 in the run, the pass, total yardage, total points. They are really good. The one thing they just don't do is get turnovers, but they get sacks and, adding Micah Parsons with Gary, holy so got to protect him. And look, we know who we are. We proved it to them last year. We started the year, beat their ass their first game of the season, and then their last game of last season, they remember that one too because they saw us to end their year as well. And we whooped on them then too. So I think the first one was 34-29. The next was like 22-10, I want to say. I looked at it before I went on the show, but something like that. But regardless, we beat them twice. And now let's do it again. This is a completely different year, 2 different teams. I get it. But we know who we are. And we are the Philadelphia Eagles, baby. The best team in the NFL. And I don't think anyone's better. And I've told you, I've stuck to my gun all season. Well, everyone else jumped ship and fire Padula, trade Hurts, fire Howie, all the dumb crap we have to hear every single year. And I stood right here and told you, holy crap, I can't believe we're doing this again. Stay patient. I promise you, this team's about to steamroll everyone, and you're going to have everybody deleting everything they've ever said. So I've already seen it with all the content creators, all of the Eagles media. Jump aboard before it's too late. I promise you that. But let me know how you feel about this game. Are you on board yet? You still feeling skeptical? Are you with the Eagles media, or are you with the Eagles diehards? Let me know how you're feeling down below. Maybe you got a score prediction, a top matchup, a top player, whatever's on your mind. Love to hear from you. If you have anything else, you need a friend, you're going through anything, you're struggling. I know that it is crazy right now, especially with the way, the D-bags in charge of our country, what they're doing to people. So if you need anything, you need help, feel free to reach out. Any of these platforms, doesn't have to be out here where everyone can see, just reach out. I'll do anything I can to help you guys. You are always here for me. I will always be here for you, even if it's just someone to talk to. But anything I can do to help, never hesitate. I love each and every one of you. Hope you're staying safe out there. Hope you're staying sane out there. Reach out if you need me. I love each and every one of you. But if you got anything from this, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Share this. Subscribe. Become a member. Hype it up. All that stuff really does help. I can't thank you enough for all of your support. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I will be back tomorrow with the game status report. But until then, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!